What is going on, everybody? Welcome to podcast episode 29. Going to be joined today by Dushawn Falls, CEO of Greenfalls Logistics. Just before we hop into today's show, we got to get into the EF routing top hauls of the week. Coming in at number one, it's going to be Chicago, Illinois to Allentown, PA, coming in at about 2.4 to 3.4 a mile. Pretty solid lane for drive-in. Got a Georgia going out to Philadelphia, coming in at 2.2 to 2.5, under $2,000, which historically, it's not the greatest for that lane. But I remember when that lane was 16 about a year ago. So, I guess we're seeing some improvements. For the reefer freight, we got PA to Mass coming in at almost $9 a mile. I'm not sure who managed to haul that lane for 2.4, but good job to whoever's truck that went on. Then we got a Philadelphia to Mass again, basically the same lane, same load for reefer. So I guess if you got a reefer in Philadelphia this week, you made some money. For flatbed, we got the South killing it, over $3 a mile on everything in the South. Makes sense. For the best loop for drive-in, starting out in the West Coast, doing a short Los Angeles run, coming down to Texas, going over to Dallas and back to Cali, coming in between 1.9 and 2.4 a mile. On that type of a lane, that's pretty impressive, to be honest. Got to use that EF routing stuff to get lanes that good. Best loop for reefer, going from Baltimore to Indiana, Indiana to Philadelphia, Philly to Chicago, back to Baltimore, coming in between 6.1 and almost $10,000 on the gross for reefer. Reefer seems pretty solid from these stats. And wrapping it up with flatbed, Ohio to Houston, Houston to Indiana, Indiana to Chicago, finish it off in Ohio. 6.6 to almost $10,000 off flatbed. So, doing pretty solid. I'd like to see that rate per mile closer to 3 if you're running flatbed. But is what it is. That's the EF routing top hauls of the week. Let's get into today's show. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Excuse my background. I'm in the living room today.
Hey, don't worry. If I take this flag down, you're going to see a bunch of dishes and what I ate for lunch today.
And if you see that picture right there, that's my wife's leg. It's a picture of us.
There you go, bro.
All you see is a knee. All you see is a knee right there. So it's like, what is that?
Hey, that's why they call it the family room, bro.
Oh, man. Family's everything, brother.
All right, man. I want to get into this with you. We've been going back and forth for like 1 or 2 years on LinkedIn. You seem like a chill dude. I don't know. How did you get into logistics? Where was your start?
So my start in logistics. So my dad actually was a truck driver, and that kind of interested me in getting involved with it. Kind of graduated high school. I knew I probably wouldn't go to college. I didn't really know of any careers that I was really interested in as far as just going. So I asked my dad about it. He said I should get involved with it. I started truck driving. That was about 2010. So yeah, I got
started out with LinkedIn. Were you driving like full-size trucks, like drive-ins? What were you driving?
Yeah, so I started out with CR England. We were driving refrigerator trailers actually. So yeah, I got my feet wet with CR England, went to the school. It was a 3-week process. And they put us right to work. It was exciting.
Like 18 years old, 19, maybe 20, right? Just driving the truck.
Yeah, I think at the time, what was I, like 20, maybe 22 with a CDL out there driving. And it's funny because I was one of the first people that I knew as far as in that age bracket with their license and everything like that. So I brought a lot of people into the industry. Once they seen, how well I was doing with it and everything, they wanted a piece of it.
Dushawn's new shoes. The guy's got, the 3 Series BMW in the garage.
Yeah, I was doing pretty good with it. So I started, recruiting, man. Everybody wanted to get involved.
Yeah, big time, bro. Honestly, like that's kind of the same thing that happened over here. Logistics. If you don't really know what you're gonna do with your life, logistics is an awesome option. Whether you're a driver, broker, carrier, dude. Like if you're kind of lost in life, bro, just go into logistics. You'll figure it out, man.
I think so. I think it's a great career as far as not actually having to go to get a 4 or 8-year degree and everything like that. I think it's cool. Yeah. You get a decent income, provide for your family, and it's so many different positions as you kind of are in it for a while. You start to notice different things, brokering, dispatching, all of the the different jobs that's in the industry. So I think it's cool.
Yeah, man. I think honestly, like, there's a lot of hate towards truck drivers, and there's a lot of hate towards, I mean, mainly towards truck driving as a career
Mhm.
path when you're going through school. Like, oh, if you don't do well, you're gonna be a truck driver. And then you like get into it, and you're like, oh, these guys making some good money, man. And
A lot of
I think,
times they make more than the entry level positions in other jobs. You know, you kind of start out making what I think.
man, I always thought about it like this, dude. Like, most every truck driver that I dispatched in my career made more than my high school teacher did. So like they can get out of here with that. You'll be a truck driver thing.
And there's less complaints. I mean, you don't have somebody hovering over you the entire time. You're kind of out there and you're learning as you go. That's really what benefited me out there by myself. Just me and YouTube, just learning everything that I can learn, and then using that info when I got out of the truck. You know,
You gotta put that on a shirt, bro. Just me and YouTube, bro.
it's just me and YouTube, man. The YouTube University.
So I mean, how many years were you driving the truck?
So I was with England for a while. I think I stayed with them for a year because you have to be with them for a year in order for the school to become free. So I stayed
Uh,
with them long enough for the school to become free. Then I went with Night for about maybe 6 months. That's when it started snowing real heavy out there on the road. I was like, I can't do this anymore with this snow. So I went local. I went to Ryder, right out of there, and then I got laid off from Ryder, and then I went to Rouen. So then Rouen was actually my last truck driving job as far as driving for a company. And then we started our own trucking company in 2019. So I drove for myself for about the first 2 years of that. And then after that, I haven't driven since. So it's been pretty cool.
yeah. So I mean, you spent what, like 5 years, 6 years,
I say 6 years. 6 years.
six
Yeah,
years?
my last four have been out of the truck.
All right, so you did the 6 years driving, which is awesome. I mean, you're
Mhm.
one of the first people I heard that's like, hey man, I was a driver. Actually, the logistics lounge guy, he was a
Mhm.
driver that became a broker. I think that's awesome, man. If you're a driver, that's probably the best knowledge you can gain in this industry. I mean, I was a carrier dispatcher, not the same thing. I wasn't sitting in the truck. So.
I think so. I think it gives you like that firsthand knowledge of the truck and how things work as far as hours of service, just everything that the drivers go through and everything like that out there. And then having a carrier experience really helps you when you own a brokerage because you kind of understand what they go through and just
Yeah.
all of the things that come with
All right,
being
so
a carrier. It's a lot.
your next step from the driving position, you opened the carrier company.
Right.
So what were you guys doing over there? How big were you? What were you specializing? What type of equipment you guys are running?
So we got started with that in 2019. It was me and my business partner at the time, my brother. We were not blood brothers, but we're best friends. We started at the time, 2019. He actually came from the pest control industry, and he got his CDL because of me, somebody else that I recruited into the industry. He got a little bit of knowledge from the school. I showed him how to drive and do and back up and do the rest of the stuff. And then we kind of just took off. We started off with one truck. Um, right before the pandemic, obviously. So one truck turned into two. The pandemic started. They threw some free money out there, and two trucks turned into. I think at the max we were about 10 trucks, 12 drivers. So it was going pretty good, and we were delivering all drive-in freight. All drive-in freight. Our biggest contract was beer and alcohol and everything like that. But for the most part, it was just straight drive-in stuff.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I remember dispatching through 2021, 2022 for drive-in. That was heaven,
Good
dude.
times. Some good
Yeah,
times, bro. Some good times.
that's probably the best moments of my life, man. I used to come in the office. I sat down like 2 hours, dispatch like 7 trucks for $9
Uh,
a mile. Just chilling
Dude,
there.
I'm talking about some good times. And you know what was dope about it? When we first started, obviously this was my first business, and this was my first time on the other side of trucking. You know, before I was just driving. Now I own a truck, so I didn't even know what a good rate was. Right. So when we got started, we like everybody's talking about how crappy the rates are. I'm like, these seem all right. They pretty decent to me, right? And then the pandemic happened, and of course, like right when it happened, it was kind of stifled for a second because we didn't know what was going on. But once the rates kicked up, we're like, wait a minute, like,
Yeah.
let's go buy as many trucks as we can because this thing is taking off. This is nuts. What's happening?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what screwed everybody over, though. Everybody did that. They're like, oh, this is never going
Yeah.
to end. Bought 5,000 million trucks, man. And now we have too
Right,
many. So.
right. We
Well,
definitely
I
were one of
remember
those
that
people.
time, man, because it was like I came in the office one morning and I booked some kind of near Chicago to somewhere for like 2 point something a mile. And then like in that company, we were required to put the like what loads we book in a group chat just so the manager could like see what everybody's booking. And if somebody books like a bad load, he'll just be like, yo, like don't do that next time. And long story short, I put this load in the chat and this guy just typed in all capitals, like, you suck at your job. Like, what are you doing? I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, that was just like a normal load, you know, it's been a normal load for months. And then he's like, dude, look at these loads. And then like an hour later, people booked the same lane for like $4 grand instead of $2 grand. And that's like, I remember that was like the moment when the rates just changed, like fully.
Oh man. No, it was insane. Like literally when we started going to Vegas or something like that from California, it was like maybe $1,000, $800. And then once the pandemic had hit and everything had subsided, it's like $2 grand to go to Vegas. Sometimes we were getting like 2,600 to go to Phoenix. It had got insane, dude. I'm like,
it was fun.
I was a new business owner, so I didn't expect the party to end.
Dude, you guys so lucky. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna open this company and just start profiting heavily.
Oh man. Nobody expected that party to end. Nobody.
I mean, anyways, all right. So let's get away from that. So you were a truck driver, then you became a carrier company, which is dope. And I mean, what got you out of the carrier business and what got you into brokerage? What happened there?
So the party ending is what got me out of the carrier side.
Yeah, that's
so it was going great. Fortunately for us, in the midst of things going great, I mean, we have put the business in autopilot, right? So the business was running like a well-oiled machine. And in 2021, we started a brokerage. So it was like, I mean, we got these trucks kicking off. Everything's going great with that. Now we, started a brokerage to figure that part of the game out because we just wanted to play both sides to see how we can do it. Me personally, I never had any sales experience. So that was a challenge for me. That was exciting, just kind of delving into another realm. And yeah, that when the market changed, that pretty much took us out of there, man. We had a decision to make. Either we can continue operating and try to figure out restructure, whatever, or we can just move on to just focus solely on brokerage and get out of it.
Yeah, we could either hope to God something changes or bleed ourselves dry or just switch teams to the winning team.
Right. I mean, because you got to be realistic.
Not in those words.
But basically, I mean, you got to be realistic. I mean, in order for the operation that we had to continue, we would need those times to repeat themselves, basically. Because the trucks that we started to purchase, I mean, we purchased them based on those rates. So now that the rates are dropping, it's either we give all of these trucks back and kind of start over or just, I mean, what options do we have really? And they weren't giving out any more capital. So it's like, you just end up between a rock and a hard place, really.
No, of course. I mean, I think being a carrier for the past 2 years, or maybe almost 3 years, is probably one of the hardest things anybody can do. Yes. And I mean, after being the past year and a half, basically just me and the owner of a carrier company and dealing with like, how do we keep this company? I was basically like dealing with how to keep it open with her, like side by side. And it's not easy, man. Like every load counts, every detention counts, every time you get stuck, the company, like that's the worst feeling when you're a company owner and you're a carrier. And it's like one mistake away from closing the shop, bro. Like it's
every week. Every
week, every payroll. We're gonna make payroll. If factoring cuts us back, are we making payroll? Are we making the gas money this week? Like, it's hard. I don't wish that on anybody, man. Being a carrier is tough.
No, it's hard, and I think during the times when the rates were high, of course, it's a lot of problems that you don't necessarily have to address in the moment because it's like, okay, there's so much money coming in. But then once those rates kind of dried out and, we are where we are in terms of the industry as a whole, everybody's kind of feeling it right now. So, I mean, we know how this game is kind of playing out as we're watching it unfold.
I mean, we saw the joke. Somebody made the meme where it was like, the trucking market by if owner ops are posting videos of their cars or of nothing, bro.
Yeah, they go from posting videos of their cars and stuff to complaining about the industry, bashing.
Yeah, my owner op sent me a picture. I'll never forget this. He sends me a picture. He's like, bro, brand new Hellcat, man. It's like 2021. He lived in
that was me.
Alabama. He was so happy, dude. And like, I don't know what he's doing now. I don't talk to him anymore. But
he might have got out. He might have got out. That was me. I had a brand new Hellcat.
Might be sitting in a bank parking lot somewhere these days. But all right, man. So what got you into the brokerage? How did you start it? I mean, what's up with the brokerage life? What are you up to these days?
So on the carrier side, and this is something that I want to mention too as we go forward. When I was a carrier, I never had any issues with brokers. Like
Yeah.
literally, I enjoyed all of the brokerage from the TQLs. Everybody, I know people hate them and they got so much to say about it, but literally, TQL gave us our first opportunity. Nobody would touch us with a new MC. So TQL, Coyote, all of the guys that people hate, we was working with all of them, and they were giving us
I used to like Coyote, bro. I don't know who hates Coyote. I loved him. Like, I
Oh,
had
okay,
such a
yeah.
good rep there, man. I loved Coyote.
Yeah, I loved Coyote, TQL, everybody who gave us a shot. I got big, props for them. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, of course, we had the carrier company. We kind of seen how brokerages were operating. We didn't know all of the logistics behind it, but it just seemed like something that we could do. Me myself, I love challenges. I think I could do anything, man. That's just how I'm wired. And I'm like, man, let's try it. Let's see. I never had any sales experience. I had never done any sales calls, anything like that. I just was like, man, I want to see. Like, I want to see what I'm made of. So we started the brokerage 2021, opened a business account, did everything like that, and we started making sales calls. And when I tell you, it was tough. It was it was tough. Like, I'm like, there's no way possible that people will do this every day. Somebody's calling every day, trying to get customers, trying to get clients. It was so tough that we decided, you know what, let's shut it down. Let's just focus back on the trucking company. So we actually closed the business account. Um, got back to dispatching our trucks and just worrying about that. And then it was something that sparked in me that I felt like it beat me. So I'm like, man, I think I can figure this thing out, bro. I just need some time. So I told my business partner, like, man, look, just give me like 60 days, bro. I think I can figure this thing out, man. And I got off the phones and I started prospecting in person. Started going to warehouses local to my house and talking to different people. And then I end up with my first client that was like right around the corner from my house. And it was actually a tire warehouse. It's a tire warehouse. I know truck drivers hate to deliver tires and pick up tires because it takes so long to load. So
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be client to a tough client to service, but I just was excited about having them. And they gave me my first load from California to Montana in the middle of a blizzard, dude. And I couldn't get the load covered. I had to give it
Yeah.
back. And the same day I got my first client is the same day I lost them. So, so, so
Yeah, bro. Dude. I mean, wait, so where are you based at? You're based in California?
yeah, I'm based out of Riverside, California.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just never thought about it. That's cool. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, dude, taking California to Montana tire load in the middle of winter, like,
dude.
I mean, rookie mistake to be fair there. Like,
Dude, I think I quoted them maybe. I think at the time I was looking at the rate from DOT. I'm sorry, DAT, and I think it was like maybe like 2,800 or something crazy like that. And I posted it on the board, and carriers were offering me like they wanted to do it at like 6,000, like
yeah,
5,000,
I was
and
gonna
then you
say
t-
like 7 grand, 7,500.
yeah, and then you tell your customer that, like, wait a minute, I'm getting offers at 7,000. What do I do? And they're like, you know what, just don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. So I lost that customer the same day that I got him. But that was the origin story. That's what actually got me excited, because I'm like, okay, what I did was duplicatable. I didn't go and do nothing, super crazy or anything like that. I just used my personality, just talked to the logistics manager who happened to be on board on site at the time, and I was in there. So I'm like, okay, I did something. I got my first client. How do I duplicate that process and go out and get more of them? And that kind of how I got started.
Yeah, I mean, I like that idea because you didn't give up, and like you're like the same as me. Like, you let it go. You're like, okay, I can't do this brokerage thing. You sat on it for like a little bit, and you're like, yeah, I can't let it just beat. I can't be that bad at it. Come on, I gotta figure it out.
Right. Right. I know I stink as far as my outreach, but it's got to be something that I'm doing. I even bought, matter of fact, I'll tell you a story. I was so bad at it, or at least I thought. I bought Dennis Brown's course. Dennis Brown, the freight
There
broker
you
coach. I bought his course because I'm like, it's got to be something that these people are doing that I'm not doing, because I'm just not getting any feedback. I'm not getting any email responses or anything. And when I bought the course and I went through everything, I'm like, wait a minute, he's kind of saying and doing the same things that I'm doing, but it's the volume. The volume is more consistent. Just doing different things. So I'm like, okay, I might have something.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's what I would do too. Like, if I
Mhm,
was into sales like to become a brokerage, if I needed my first customer, hell, if I needed any customer, I even told my old bosses at a carrier company, I'm like,
mhm,
you guys had a company open for years,
mhm.
based in the same place for all these years, and you have 10 trucks every Monday at the yard, and you don't have a dedicated lane yet. Like,
That's
Drive,
crazy.
go put a tank of fuel in your car, drive around to every warehouse and just knock on the door, dude. Like, I mean, I don't
That's
know. Like,
crazy.
that's what I would do too, bro. Like, if I was a broker that was looking to get customers, I would just be driving around all day knocking on doors.
Yeah,
Like,
that's actually how I got my first dedicated lane. As we were building the brokerage, I was trying to find brokerage customers, and then I stumbled across a dedicated lane for our trucks. So, to all my carrier friends out there, dedicated lanes are a possibility, but you got to be actively seeking, to talk to these people because they want to give the carriers the freight first. Obviously, they can get the cheapest, the better deal, but there's going to be guys like us that's always actively seeking opportunity that get to them first. So, you know,
yeah, that's a quick tip. I mean, so what do you
yeah.
think is like kind of, I mean, at this point in your brokerage career, is it just you? Like, what does your operation look like?
So I got multiple guys right now. We have three other guys. We so we're moving away from that cradle to grave model. We don't want to do that. I find that it's best to have your better salespeople actively selling, actively talking to customers, and then the people who love operations to just do that. And that's kind of how I started out. I don't enjoy the operations aspect of things. I like to talk to customers. I like to network. I like to build. I like all of those things. So I don't want to be hunkered down with the operational piece, and then I spend my entire day, trying to move the freight. It's just tough, and then it drains all your energy. And when it's time to prospect, you just don't have the energy
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. Yo, honestly, I feel that since I moved
Mhm.
into brokerage, I'm just doing carrier sales. But like that's honestly that's what I love because I was a
Mhm.
carrier and now I just get to talk to carriers all day. It's like
Yeah.
my dream. Like it's just fun for me. Like I love what I do. But
Mhm.
like at the end of the day, if I had to go make 10 sales calls at the end of my day, I'd be dead, bro. Like it's just so
Mhm.
much answering the phone
It's
and
too much.
saying, bro, operations will take some stuff out of you. I definitely agree with you that cradle to grave. I don't know how guys do that. Like I really don't get it.
You know what? Especially when you're servicing that client and you're responsible for the freight, and let's say things go wrong. Now mentally you're jacked up because okay, now it's things that's going wrong. How do I prospect when I got loads that are late? Our carrier's not answering the phone, or whatever things are going on throughout the day. Because I mean, you're trying to keep track of all of the things you have, going with these loads. So I don't think that's a. I mean, it's great if you're an umbrella company and you want agents and everything like that. But as far as you trying to build something, a decent size,
Yeah, like
you have to.
sustainable, bro. Like,
Right. So we're kind of moving away from that and trying to dig more into the split thing. And it's tough. It's a tough transition, but it's what we're actively working on right now.
I mean, I think the split thing has its benefits. So does cradle to grave, and I think honestly, I think the beauty, in my opinion, in brokerage lies somewhere in the middle of that, where like
Mhm.
the guy that owns the freight has somebody to help him sell it, but then if he's not prospecting that day, he can sell his own freight too. Like there's some
Mhm.
hybrid of the two that nobody ever. I've never heard somebody say it's always there's cradle to grave and there's split model. I've never heard somebody be
Mhm.
like, "Yo, there's some hybrid of those two, bro." And I mean, it
That's kind
works.
of like what I have. The lanes that I already because I already had customers when I've been in this thing already. So the lanes that I've already have carriers that I've already actively talked to on a regular basis, I just handle that. And then anything outside of that, I give to my operations. Like I just let them do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think like honestly, as a brokerage owner, that's something that if I ever opened up my own brokerage, I would do the same thing. I'd have like
Mhm.
the sales guys selling, I'd have operations team. I would tell anybody like, hey, if you want to do either of those things, you can do whatever you want, just move the freight. You know? Like,
I
I
think
mean, I
that's the
think that
best way. I think it is, man. And as far as for myself, I didn't even know that there were people like yourself and others that love the operations part because I can't stand it so much. So I can imagine anybody that just loves it. But when you get those people that really love it, I mean, that's the beauty of collaboration. That's the beauty of bringing those people because they love it more than you, so they're going to do it better than you. And I love
yeah.
sales more than them, so I'm going to do it better than them. So it just
Well,
takes it out of
I
both.
mean, for me, it's like I came from the carrier side, and I remember being like, I'm gonna be a dispatcher, I'm gonna be a carrier the rest of my life. I'm never gonna be a broker. And then like now I'm a broker, but I'm
I remember
not,
you
right?
saying that.
Yeah, like, but like, bro, I'm carrier sales. My title is literally like carrier sales and like relations. Like, I get to like
Mhm.
call carriers, try to hit them up, try to use the same people, like build. Like, I get to be the guy that I always wish I could talk to when I was a carrier, which is dope,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, I
For
mean, I
sure.
went into brokerage with the idea that I can probably help more truck drivers as a broker than I could as
Mhm.
like a dispatcher carrier because when I was on the carrier side, I could affect 5 to 15 truck drivers' lives,
Mm-hmm.
and it was cool because I was like literally like getting them every load, like feeding them. It was great. But as a broker, I'm like on the inside. I'm like, hey, like, let's use these guys. They're great guys. Let's try to build a relationship. I get to go on carrier visits, dude. That was awesome.
That's
So
cool.
it's like I enjoy what I do because I just get to talk to like who I used to be. Like I'm on the other side of the phone talking to myself all day, basically. So,
And I think that's the cool part of coming from that side into this side, because you get the insight of both sides, and then you're actually talking to the carriers, letting them know, hey, we're not making the money that you think we're making on these loads. So,
yeah,
so the fact that you're so annoyed and upset by us, it's like, wait a minute, we're trying to figure things out too, just like you. We're in,
dude, I have
going
the
through the
famous
recession like you.
line. I have a famous line when people call me for freight. It's like, dude, I was you 4 or 5 months ago. Like, don't play these games with me. Like, and like, I had a guy. I was moving some power only freight today, and it was like some type of Illinois to somewhere I can't even remember now. But the guy calls me. The dispatcher calls me. It's power only. Now remember, the last year and a half of my life, the only freight I moved as a carrier was power only, and that's like a niche thing. Like that's
Super
all I
niche.
did all day, every day, power only. And so this guy goes, yo, man, I'm going to need 26 on this load. I told him, buddy, I was not getting 26 on this 9 months ago, 12 months ago. I was like, don't even hit me with that rate. He goes, yeah, there's mountains, there's this. I'm like, dude, power only has never moved at 26 ever.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah, bro. I told him, like, be realistic, bro. Like, you already know that's insane. And once he heard that, he's like, shit, bro, this guy actually knows stuff. Like, I can't use that anymore.
That's the beauty of it. And I love that aspect of being on both sides, because it's guys like us who can let them know, hey, we understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, the shipper's going to give us a rate, and then we're going to give you our rate and attach some margin to that. Now, if it's not 60-70% margins like you think.
Bro. I'm not. It's just funny though when they try to give me their reasons. I'm like, dude, I was literally you. Like, I know which highway to avoid. Like, I know the tolls. Like, don't tell me any of that stuff.
Right.
Like, it's funny to me, bro. It's fun. That's why I enjoy what I do now. But I mean, what would you say sets you apart? As a brokerage, what do you guys kind of do? What do you specialize in, or what do you guys just kind of culture-wise doing differently?
So currently we're specializing, I would like to say, refrigerator freight. I didn't choose it, but it chose me. Definitely, I tried to stay away from food when I got started, especially when I was a carrier. I seen how hard it was to deal with like grocery freight, even on the drive-in side. It was long wait times, detention pay, all of the nonsense that comes with grocery and refrigerator, that type of freight. And I found myself with one of my bigger clients in brokerage was a refrigerated customer. So then that became my niche, right? It became my niche. And I kind of been actively going after those type of clients ever since, because I'm like, okay, I like these type of clients, and the freight is consistent. So that's kind of where I got my start at with the refrigerated freight. And then I actually met a guy at my gym. He specializes in moving cranes, and they do crane rental and lease. So that kind of got me into the flatbed world. And I'm like, okay, I kind of like these type of customers too. And the beauty of those customers is price is not, they're not as picky on price as, a refrigerated customer would be.
That's like crazy. Like, those are kind of specialized. They need to be handled well. Price isn't. I mean, yeah, nobody wants to overpay, but at the same time, they don't want their shit falling off a truck and killing somebody.
Right. And they want to get it there. They're waiting. The people at the job site are waiting on this. Right. So we kind of got into both of those. The beauty of being in both of those is, as far as my personality, I'm somebody who really talks to my clients and asks them, what their needs are. I talk to them consistently, and we become friends. So the beauty of all of that is we get an understanding of exactly what they need, what they're looking for, and how we can help. So with the crane guys, okay, if the freight is time sensitive, okay, what's the lead times on these things? Just being passionate about the detail when it comes to getting this freight delivered and picked up and everything like that. So that's kind of what separates us, is passion, really enjoying what we do. I really got a knack for people. I love people. I love talking to people. And then, like I said, the operations people really love what they do. They love moving freight. They get a kick out of it. Me, I don't get a kick out of that. So I'm like, let me connect with people who get a kick out of doing that part. So now you kind of got that double-edged sword, No,
the operations to me, like, I mean, I'm done saying I'll never do something, because I literally am a broker now, and I never thought that would happen ever. But I mean, dude, just the thrill of booking a load on both sides. It's just, bro, when you book that hard load, like, yo, they gave me a load when I first started on this team. And they were like, hey, man, we need you to move like a 1-pick 8 million drop from like Canada to like somewhere in the Northeast. And I was like 5 days in, 10 days in, I was like, oh, this is nuts, bro. Like, I looked at this load, I was like, dude, even if I was a carrier, this is a crazy load. Like, and then I moved it. It was just like such a feeling of like, you know, like you accomplished something. It's cool, man. Like, I don't know. Operations is dope.
For me, when I started, I really enjoyed the operations piece. And then once it started like bogging me down is when I stopped enjoying it. Because, you know, when I started out with this thing, I mean, I literally did everything. I built the website, you know, got the initial customers, did the marketing, like literally everything that you could do when it comes to this business, I've done it. So it's like, man, I don't have the energy to do every single thing in this business. Like I only want to do the things that I'm really good at, the things that I really enjoy. So I'm gonna leave all of that other stuff to other people. And I'm continuing to build. Obviously, you know, I want to bring in more people who can like the marketing side. I enjoy marketing, but I'm not as great at it as somebody who did like this is what they really love to do. So it's like that's kind of go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, of course. I agree with that, man. Like, I mean, if somebody enjoys something that, like you said, if they really enjoy their job, they're gonna do it to the best of their abilities for sure.
Yeah, and that makes me happy, you know. That I ain't got to do it. You know?
But you made me laugh, bro, with a funny one because you snuck in that you found the customer at the gym. And so I started going to the gym recently again too. But I laughed because if you were to sell like, you know, that tip to like most people on like LinkedIn or something, they'd be like, hey man, if you want customers, you got to go to the gym.
Facts.
Like, I remember somebody, I can't remember who it was. They're like, I'm a great broker. I love sales. I cannot go to the gym. I'm like, bro, like,
you missing out.
Endless opportunity. Yeah, you're missing out on customers.
I think I've gotten 4 opportunities from the gym, and I just started at a new gym, so I'm excited about that because I'm, you know, it's a bigger gym. So I'm like, man, it's a lot of people in here, man. I'm about to get some new customers because at this gym that I already was going to, I still have my membership there. My crane client, he still goes there. So we meet up there, we talk, you know, in between sets or something like that. He might be on a treadmill next to me. We're just talking about different projects and things he has going on. So, I mean, that's cool. And then another guy that I met, he actually, he's a big sales guy for a marijuana. What are they sell marijuana nutrients, right? I never even heard of that market. Right. So the grow nutrients, I got into that with him. And then he referred me to another customer where they sell all of the lighting and the fixtures and everything like that for those, you know, for that. Like it's crazy all of the opportunities that are in the gym.
I remember, I'll never forget that load when I saw it on the load board. It said like high value, you needed like 250 or 500K cargo, high value lighting fixtures. And I was like, bro, like I think it was in California too. I was like, dude, there's no way that's not something to do with like the weed industry. like who's shipping $500,000 of lights, dude? Come on, give me a break. Right?
No, it's crazy in that industry. I've been moving. I think I just onboarded that customer maybe like 2 months ago. But since we've gotten on board with them, I mean, we're moving like racks, lighting, just all of the things that go into a dispensary. I mean, not the dispensary, but the grow facility.
Yeah, like the grow houses.
Yeah, it's cool. I didn't know much about it, you know.
No, I mean, as a Canadian, bro, I'm happy because like we made it legal in the whole country, and there's even you can now in Canada you can go to university to learn how to like grow pod, and like it's an industry. Wow. It's like it's cool, man. Like it's legal in the whole country. It's a plant. You learn how to grow it. You learn how to deal with it. Like it's just crazy, right? Because in California, I'm pretty sure it's fully legal. Like in some places, like Canada, the full country of Canada has legal weed, and you can go to school to learn how to grow weed, and like that's cool. That's interesting. Right?
No, that's funny. You sound like my guy. His name is JJ. He's the one that I met at the gym. He's always like informing me on what's going on in the industry and stuff. I'm like, dude, it's just all interested in me. But I'm like, man, I don't smoke.
Yeah. But those pod guys are like too much. They make it their like whole personality, where they're just, like their whole personality is just marijuana, and it's like, come on, dude. Like, I mean, but that's the tip of the day. If you want customers, just go to the gym, you know.
Hit the gym, man. You get stronger, you get customers. Like you can't lose.
Yeah. Just go to the gym if you want customers, man. Like that's I think that's a tip and it ties in with the driver health thing. We're trying to get the drivers more healthy, trying to get, people in the industry more healthy. So I mean, I think I'll make this a clip and drop it tomorrow. It's like if you want customers, if you want to be a successful freight broker, you go to the gym, bro.
Hit the gym, hit it hard too. A couple days a week if you can. I'm telling you, you're gonna meet somebody that's doing something, somebody that can connect you, or somebody that's in charge, right? I've met, like I said, 4 different contacts just at the gym, and I'm excited about this new gym I'm going to.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
ready to
about
go
to say
kill it.
you definitely swap the gyms just so you could get a new pool of prospects, dude.
I did. I told my wife that I'm about to kill it at this other gym, dude.
Yeah, you gotta be the John Rogers there. You gotta start handing out business cards to everybody. Like you just keep them in like that pocket, bro, behind your phone or something. Right.
You have to. You have to.
All right, man. Let's get into I mean, we've done the work stuff. Let's get into
Mhm.
what is your craziest logistics story. And honestly, since you've done the driver gig and the carrier
Mhm.
gig and the brokerage gig, maybe you have like a story from all three, or from at least from the driving perspective and brokerage perspective.
So let me think. Let me think. Let me see.
I mean, as a
Craziest.
driver, like you ever have something just insane happen to you on the road, dude? Like,
Uh, I would tell you a double broker story as a driver. So one time, it's a Mattel warehouse not too far from my house. It's in Redlands, California. Mattel makes toys. So I
yeah.
went to pick up the load, and I went inside. I seen all of the boxes and everything. I didn't think much of it. Me and another driver had put up at the same time. So he was an older gentleman. I was a newbie. I was young, and I'm seeing how they're wrapping the toys, and I'm like, okay, they're just gonna, they have the forklift where they close it, and pick it up and put it in, not the one with the forks underneath. So I'm like, okay, this don't look that bad. But when I went outside, I got in my truck and I waited for them to load me. The other driver, they put cones in front of our trucks, and he pulled the cone from in front of his truck and took off. And I'm like, why did he take off? Why did he leave? So the next day I go to deliver that load, and it was going to Amazon. Both loads are going to Amazon. And they put a conveyor belt into the truck, and they started unloading the toys one by one. So 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 I was trying to figure out why he left, because he already figured out that this is going to be an 8-hour delivery. Like literally. Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah, so this is
oh.
supposed to be a drop trailer load, but unbeknownst to me, I'm just delivering the load. So I back in everything. I see them, pulling out the conveyor. I'm like, and in my past life, I've worked at a department store before, and we, put the conveyors in the trucks and offload one by one. So I'm like, oh, this is about to take forever, right? So I already knew this is not going good. Like this is bad. So I parked in the front. I went and got me something to eat. Literally, that unload took, I would say it took 8 hours. Now I'm sorry to all my legal folks, but after they unloaded the truck, I was so pissed. I was out of hours, everything. I still drove that truck home because I was pissed. I wanted to go home. You know, on my mind, I was going home no matter what. And I went home, and then I sent the load in for factor and everything like that. And I found out that company double brokered the load. So I sat there all day and I didn't get paid for it. So literally, like there was a load was a nightmare situation, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, touching on okay, that's like the part that killed me is when you're like, oh, this is about to take forever, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you already knew, bro. But bro, honestly, the thing that bothers me in this industry, and I ran into it with my drivers all the time, it's
Mhm.
like this whole ELD thing. Like, I get it; it's much safer. I understand the need for it. I like
Mhm.
ELD; like, it's a good system. But
Mhm.
that type of a situation where for 8 hours you're parked somewhere, you can easily be sleeping, chilling, relaxing, playing
Mhm.
games, watching TV. Why does that have anything to do with your shift? Like, you have to, at a certain point, like, it needs to just cancel itself out. Like, being stuck 4 or 5 hours somewhere, that gives you time to chill. You're not driving for those 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. So, I mean, you have every right to drive when you're done that. Like, I don't know. It bothers me. That part bothers me.
Hey, I didn't care. I didn't care. I
Yeah.
didn't care what was going on. I'm going home, brother. Like I got there expecting to get unloaded and go back home. So the last thing on my mind was I already waited 8 hours. I'm not spending the night, dude. I'm going home. And I think it might have been on a Friday too. So it's the weekend. I'm pissed. I'm going home, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of times my drivers have told me, like, I don't care about the detention. I don't care about you. I don't care about anybody. I'm driving my truck home, like couple hundred miles, bro. When a driver gets mad and they're getting like screwed around somewhere, like they decide to go home sometimes, and like nobody can stand in the way of the driver going home. Like the driver's going home with or without anybody. So I mean,
It's two
it
things you don't
happens.
mess with. Is crazy women and is pissed off truck drivers, bro. Pissed off truck drivers is they don't play. They don't. And I used to be a
They're in
pissed
a
off truck driver,
category
so
of
I
their
know.
own, dude. Pissed off truck drivers are in a category way in their own, man. But I get them, bro. Like they live in a truck and they're just getting dicked around all day and they're losing a bunch of money. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, I completely understand them. Like,
right. And then they think everybody's making money but them. So it's like, wait a minute. All these guys are making money. They're sitting under AC.
A millionaire. Yeah, broker's a millionaire. They're making no money. Like the shipper's a millionaire. The receiver's a millionaire. Everybody's a millionaire except for the owner, bro. Like,
right. So they're pissed. So that's
all
a
right,
crazy.
Man, let's get into the craziest brokerage story. You have any wild brokerage story?
So I just actually went through a crazy experience, maybe a month or two ago. Oh man, this is so crazy. So I onboarded a new agent, right? And he brought in a customer with him. And the first run with that customer went great. Everything was good. He gave him more loads for the second week. So he used the initial carrier to run that ran last week for one of the loads, and then he used another carrier for the second load. It was 2 loads. And the initial carrier that did a great job last week, he happened to break down in the middle of delivering that load. And he demanded payment in the middle of that load so he can get his truck fixed and deliver the load. Now, I don't know how you guys work and everything like that, but I'm not giving you nothing until that load gets delivered. I can't pay for your truck to get fixed, brother. Like, that's not my issue. You know, I love truck drivers. I want to help as much as I can, but I can't pay you in the middle of delivering this load. It just can't happen. So this guy takes it upon himself to contact the customer. So he contacted the customer, demanded payment from the customer. I called the customer, asked him, what does he want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not paying him until he delivers. I don't trust him. I don't know what he's going to do with the money. I can't make that kind of decision financially. That just doesn't work for me. He agreed to pay him. So he paid the guy. The guy delivered the load. Customer was okay with it. He was a little annoyed by it, but he was cool with it. He understands his truck and whatever. And then, so that's crazy. And then the second load, the driver said that he is going to, no, the day after, the driver puts the load in a warehouse without telling us. And I'm like, dude, why did you put the load in the warehouse? And he was like, my truck broke down. This is the crazy. This is stuff that has never happened to me before in the whole history of this thing. So it's crazy. He's like, dude, I put the freight in the warehouse because my truck broke down and I want to go get my truck fixed. But I'm like, I've owned trucks. We just go get our truck fixed with the load.
Yeah,
like we never, we never go put the load in the warehouse. So I called down to the warehouse and I'm trying to figure out everything that's going on. And the guy at the warehouse is like, well, we're not releasing the freight to you unless you get in touch with CHP and you got to handle it through them. And it just got crazy. So I had to go to the warehouse physically and act the fool with the people at the warehouse and it just turned into a whole entire nightmare situation. The freight eventually got delivered, but it just was like, man, why is this all happening to me in the same week? Like, I got this guy contacted the customer. I got my freight in the warehouse. I'm like, this stuff has never happened to me. And then this, the agent, he was stressed out about it. He's having a panic attack. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. It's okay. We're going to smooth it over. Like, it just was a lot, but I always use situations like that. I mean, of course, it's not an ideal situation. And this was what I was explaining to the agent. This situation is not ideal. Everything is going crazy, right? But we composed ourselves. We got the freight delivered. Like, everything eventually happened how it was supposed to happen. And that's a story that you can tell a shipper. Like, everything's not going to happen the way we expect it to happen every time. It's crazy things that happen.
Not in trucking. Like,
exactly. So, before you're asking what's our unique selling proposition, that's one of them. I went to a warehouse physically, put my safety in danger to go turn up on these people because we're going to get that freight. I don't know where it is. Like, show it to me. Is it all intact? Like, because this is my insurance. This is all of my things. It's going to be a claim. It's my responsibility. So once you give that load to me and I accept it, I mean, whatever we have to do in order to make it go, we're going to make it go. So that was a crazy story right there, man. I hope to never deal with something like that again.
Yeah, I mean, going in-house to a cross-dock facility that your freight got cross-docked that you didn't know about or was like told about, and then having the cross dock tell you can't have your own freight back.
Dude. And then the carrier, he went ghost on me. We was communicating back and forth, cussing, having a shouting match between each other. And he was telling me how much money he lost on it. And that cross dock facility, I lost I paid $2,000 to get that freight out of the cross dock facility, and then I paid $500 more to get the load delivered. So go figure. That's another story. No, that's at no cost to the shipping company, nothing like that. That's not I'm gonna call you and tell you, hey, this is the situation. We need $2,500. No, this is out of my pocket. I was telling my friend I could have took my wife on vacation with that money.
But I mean, I think honestly, to be honest, you probably caught the freight before it got on like a boat to like some other country. So I mean, at the end of the day, I think you paid $2,000 to not get your freight completely stolen. So I think it worked out pretty okay. Right?
For me, yes. For me, and this is obviously my second business, but what I learned in my first business initially, the quicker you could just alleviate the problem, even if it costs money, let's just get the problem alleviated. Let's not sit on it and turn it into a bigger problem.
I think one of my longest like life lessons that I learned in logistics, and it took me a long time to learn this, pretty much my whole logistics career, and it pertains mostly to logistics, but it works in other places in life. It's like you have to be comfortable like with the idea that it doesn't matter why something happened. Like I don't care why the truck broke down. I don't care why the driver's late. I don't care about any of that stuff. Like this is the problem. Like the freight's in a warehouse. We just got to get it out. Like you got to just problem solve forward, right? Because like the whys, like, at the end of the day, who gives a shit, right? Like the carrier will lie to you, maybe the broker will lie to you, maybe if you're a carrier. Like it doesn't really matter why something happens, especially in trucking. Like it already happened. Like it's time sensitive. Let's get the freight. Let's get it delivered. I mean, it's hard to let go of the whys, right? And like even in my job today, like my update team was like, "Well, why is this guy late?" I'm like, "Bro, who gives a shit? Like,
is he there?
Yeah, is he there? No, okay, take him off, bro. Let's recover. Let's move on." I mean,
especially in this game, the longer you wait, the more crazier stuff happens. So it's like we literally have to move so quick. Everything is time sensitive. We got customers that's waiting on trucks to show up. We have so much going on that the quicker we get rid of these problems, the quicker we can get back to making money. So, this happened for whatever reason. Let's move on. Let's get back to the money.
Yeah, you got to detach your emotions and just like forget about the whys, man. Like it is what it is. What do we do now? Like that kind of shit, That's a hard lesson to learn. And like, it sounds easy, but like dealing with it in like high pressure situations is like 30 minutes to cut off, drivers not answering the phone. Like you're gonna ask yourself, well, why is he not answering the phone? But you just gotta like, fuck it, man. We need a new truck. What are we gonna do? So,
especially coming from the carrier side, you might have five or it was times we have 4 trucks down at one time. You got a truck in the shop. You got loads that got to get delivered. You got solutions to come up with. There's so much stuff going on, so many moving parts. Now we can't sit around and waste time on one thing.
I had to cancel a load one time with a guy that I know through LinkedIn. I literally, like we talked about it on the podcast. Like I had to cancel a load with this guy, the first load I ever booked with him. And I didn't want to lie to him. Like my driver, the first time in 9 months I worked with this guy, he told me we could book the freight. So I booked it. And then the next morning he said, "No, I need $200 more." I told him, "Bro, like that's not how this works. Like we can't do that, man." And it's with a guy that I know through LinkedIn. I'm like, I definitely can't do that. I never would do that anyways. And he goes, "Fine, then take me off the load." And I went to this guy. I'm like, "Bro, my driver is he's just pulling a owner op move, bro. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, he wants more money. Even if you have it, I don't want to give it to him because that's not how this business works." Like I fell off a load just because my driver just didn't want to pick it up.
No, that's what I've become in this last 3 years is a master at smoothing things over. A tough conversation haver. Like it's just been, just something that you have to develop as you go because there's so many things that happen, unfortunately, and there's nothing that we can do. So we just got to get good at having a conversation, especially because we know it's only getting worse as the time progresses, right? So we just got to be able to have that conversation real quick. Hey, this is happening right now. It sucks. I mean, I'm taking care of it. That's the most important. I'm on top of it.
I'm taking care of it.
We're going to rectify it somehow. We got it. We got it.
Dude, you reminded me of a story of this driver I had that didn't speak very good English. And he was a really strong driver and he was a great driver and this and that. And he showed up to a delivery like 6 in the morning. He had like a 10 a.m. appointment. And I remember he was bothering the forklift guy. He's like, yo, please, man, please unload me. I want to get out of here. I got my next one. Please, man. So the forklift guy does him a solid. Like, he's like, yeah, no problem. You know what? Like, fine, bro. I got like 20 extra minutes. Let me just unload you quick, send you on your way. Bro, this guy made a mistake with the forklift and just poked like perfect 2 forks through the roof of the trailer. Like perfectly, like perfect 2 fork, like fully.
Ouch.
Like the trailer roof is destroyed. There's no more trailers, no more next load, there's no more nothing.
Oh, man.
And I just remember calling. That was like my favorite broker when I was a carrier. I'm like, I don't know really what happened here, bro, but like we got a $15,000 mistake in my trailer roof. That's the thing. It ended up being okay. Like the broker was like, yeah, we'll fix it. And then the forklift guy was like, I'm never doing anyone a favor ever again. And like the customer ended up paying for it. It was fine in the end, right? But that phone call, like, right? Like I'm sitting there. It's like I just got to, I'm like walking to my office. I'm not even at work yet. And this guy's like, yo, bro, we have a huge hole in trailer roof. I'm like, oh, like, what did you do now? You know? Like,
man, that's funny, bro. That's hilarious.
Yeah, tough conversations, man. You just gotta have them, man. So.
It's not fun. It's not fun. I remember at the end of our trucking company closing and having to make those layoff calls. That's tough. You think calling something is broken is tough. Like having to tell people that look, we're shutting down. That's I cried after. I cried after.
Yeah. I mean, I fired my first employee back like a company or 2 ago, and like it sucked, man. And like it's hard, like you got to reason with it, but like that's not the same thing because I could justify like, okay, they're not performing, gotta let them go, right? But like saying, we're closing down, sorry,
we're closing.
Like,
I'm telling
you, different type of conversation, man. But all right, let's get away from that doom and gloom. Let's hop into pretty much one of the last questions here. And I think you're going to have one because you strike me as a very funny guy. What's your favorite joke?
Joke? Was like a knock or what kind of joke?
Anything, any kind of, do you have any joke? You ever like meet a customer? Like, I mean, they always tell me sales guys need jokes, but it seems like people just send memes nowadays. Like jokes are kind of.
You know what? I need to start sending memes. I don't send them.
No memes and no jokes, bro. Come on,
I don't send that mess, man. I don't know. Do customers like that? I need to ask around. Like, is that a thing? I see it all the time on LinkedIn, but I don't know if it works. I don't know. I never send them. But
man, you should just mail them a meme like crumpled up into like an envelope. Like they just open it. It's just the dumbest thing they've ever seen.
I don't send that mess. You know what I do? I like to call and joke. Like this is my personality over the phone, so it works for me. But joke, let me think.
But you ain't got like a stand-up go-to joke, yeah?
Do I got any? I don't know if I have any I'm comfortable saying that won't get.
Yeah, Okay, that's the thing. I don't want to force anybody to do this segment, and if you don't have a joke, just avoid it because we got one guy got in trouble about this segment. So
yeah, I don't want to get in trouble.
If you don't have a joke, bro, just don't say it. It's better to err on the side of caution.
Okay, good, because I got dark humor.
We're skipping the jokes. Let's fly through this stuff quick though.
Okay.
As far as hobbies go, what do you do when you're not brokering freight or going to the gym?
So I'm not brokering freight or going to the gym. Let me think.
Or spending time with your family, of course. That's not really I mean, I guess that's kind of a hobby, but that is like I'm thinking more like rock climbing or squash or something.
I mean, I still play a little bit of basketball. I enjoy that. That's it. I don't have a life outside of work, man. I love working, dude. Like,
real shit. Yeah, like if you do a job you don't hate, it's like not that hard, right? So.
I'm always working. I love trying to build this company, get it off the ground. Like, that's what I enjoy doing. So most of my free time, I'm either working or thinking about work. If I'm not thinking about work, I'm playing basketball, or of course with the family. My son, he plays basketball as well. Most of my weekends when I'm free. He has tournaments, and my daughter, she's in dance, so I'm always at the dance event. So, I guess you could say would be basketball. I love to play basketball on Saturday.
Son tall enough to go to the NBA? Because I mean, that was
probably not.
I'm 6'5", and I suck at basketball. I've always sucked at basketball.
You're 6'5"?
Yeah, but I always told myself it doesn't even matter because if you're 6'5", you got to be like the best point guard in the world, and I'll never be that. Like I suck, dude. Like I used to play center. I'm trash at basketball. Like
Oh no, well I don't know yet. He's going through a growth spurt now. He's definitely not that tall now, but he's in the midst of a growth spurt. A lot of sleeping. So let's hope because he's really good. So I'm hoping so. I'm praying about it.
That's what always like bothers me about basketball as a sport. It's like it doesn't like matter, right? Like you just have to be tall to go to the NBA, and that sucks. Like I just
Right,
that's what I hated about basketball. That's why I never pursued it because like I played a lot of ice hockey, and then long story short, I switched to soccer because like soccer, anyone in the world with 2 feet can play soccer. Like anybody, short, tall, doesn't matter. Like, that's the most inclusive sport. Like,
well, I'm in sales, so I'd say we assume the close in sales, right? So that's the same thing I play with him. Assume that you are going. Prepare like you're going. Work hard like you're going. That's how, if that's what you want to do with yourself. And you got some, some false blood in you. We could do anything, like I said. So, the sky is the limit for you. Just
especially if he likes it and he's good at it, man. I mean, man, even making it to university ball is a huge achievement, bro. So, I mean,
hell yeah.
I mean, I like Bibby. I always liked Bibby growing up. I don't know why. I didn't really watch a lot of basketball, but Michael Bibby was just like that was my boy. Like, he was like short. He was white. Like, I don't know. He just didn't really like belong there. Didn't really belong in the NBA, but he was there, bro. Like,
no, he was good on the Sacramento Kings. I liked that.
Yeah, on the Kings when we had that one Serbian guy like Stojanovic or Stojakovic or something like that on Sacramento. Michael Bibby was fun for me, man. I was like, that guy didn't belong anywhere near basketball, but he was sick. All right, man. Sports. I mean, did we cover it? You watch any sports or mainly basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I watch some basketball, some football. I don't have any teams anymore. Kobe was my favorite basketball player. He obviously passed. Peyton Manning was my favorite football player, quarterback or whatever, and he retired. So that's kind of ended, me having teams and everything like that. So I don't care who wins. I just like to see a good game. My team is Greenfalls Logistics, bro. Like that's the team that I'm you know what I'm saying? So
I feel that. All right, man. So sports, we watch a little football, a little basketball, and music. What are you listening to? What's the gym playlist look like?
A lot of rap, a lot of crazy stuff. You know what? I've gotten into some. Well, I've always been into it, but motivational speaking while I'm working out, I like that. All that type of stuff pumps me. Don't laugh, man. That ain't funny, man. I love it, dude.
Bro, what do you mean? Yo, send me if you use Spotify, or even if you just send me what are you listening to while you're.
I'm gonna send it to you, bro. It's like playlists, but they have like hip hop music behind it. It's cool. You know what it is for me?
Okay.
It's sometimes
it's
when
not
I
just
get
a dude speaking in your ears in dead silence.
No. It's got the music behind it. It got the music. But sometimes for me, I get tired of
just dead silence and a guy just telling you like work harder, work smarter.
No, not that. No, because sometimes I get tired of listening to like all of the cussing and everything like that. I have my days when I'm really into that, and then my days where I don't want to hear that right now. I just want to hear somebody saying some positive stuff. So I
listen to mostly just rap, and like Gucci Mane's my favorite rapper. And like some days when I'm in the gym, especially when I'm in the gym, like it's just too many words, man. I just don't want to like think about what they're saying right now. Like it's too many words.
Lately, I've been trying to work out without headphones lately, and it's tough.
But that's impossible. Then.
No, because I feel like okay, for me, I always work. I have my headphones in a lot of times throughout the day. So I'm like, man, I feel like I'm addicted to listening to stuff all day or whatever. But I'm like, man, what time do I have to actually hear what I think? What are my thoughts and what I want to, whatever. So
yeah, but that's not even what it is. If you're in a commercial gym, you're just gonna listen to like Wrecking Ball on repeat, bro.
Like, no, you can block all of those people out, man. Especially if you're like me and you got a lot on your mind all the time,
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, man. We got all that out of the way. We're done, man. I mean, we got the iconic last part of the show. Not sure if you're familiar with it. It's going to be Chicken Wing Choices, sponsored by Fair Trade Workforce, founder Vince Gonzalez. They offer nearshore employees at recession-proof rates. But Mr. Dushawn, what is your chicken wing preference? When you eat chicken wings, you ordering drums or flats?
I'm definitely a flat guy. I like flats. I like drums too, but this is the thing. So I don't know how it is where you are, but in the States here, sometimes you might order some wings and I don't know what chicken they got those wings off of, because you might get a flat drum that's huge, right? So you got this huge drum that's supposed to be small, and it kind of just makes it weird. So I'm a drum guy. I would be a flat guy if that didn't happen. So the drums are always the perfect size. So I'm sorry, the flats are always the perfect size. So I'll say flats.
So you're a flats guy in the end. If you
I'm
had
a flat. I'm a flat guy, man. I can't do those big drums, dude.
All right. You're running ranch or blue cheese as the dipping sauce.
I just started using ranch maybe 2 years ago, brother. As crazy as that sounds, I went my entire life without dipping my chicken in ranch, and now 2 years ago, I've become a ranch dude.
All right. And what about are they going to be breaded or non-breaded wings?
So sauced up, I need non-breaded. If without the sauce, I need breaded.
Oh, I hate to tell you, man, you just went 0 for 3 on chicken wing choices. You didn't get one right, yeah.
Hey, I'm a chicken wing connoisseur, man.
Dude, I was hoping at least at the end you were gonna be like, yeah, I love breaded wings. Like, nope, not even that. Just get a quick 0 for 3, wrap up the show, brother.
Oh man, hey, when I see you, you come to the States, man. Chicken wings on me, man. Chicken wings, beer. I'm with it.
I'll hit you up. I gotta come to Cali. I gotta try In-N-Out Burger. I've seen that. My mom's actually born and raised in California, so I definitely.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, In-N-Out's good. It's good. I don't like their fries, but the burgers is to die for. You know.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I had like here in Serbia, there's a place that opened up that's like they're literally like an In-N-Out clone. Like they took they just ripped off In-N-Out Burger, bro. Like they just took all their advertising, all their logos, all their containers. They have animal fries, but like so. Anyways, long story short, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try this. This might be fire. It was the worst food I ever ate in my life.
Oh,
so garbage. Like, and they had the animal fries, but it was just like ketchup, bro. I was like, this is not.
I'm not a fan of the animal style. I don't eat the animal style, but the burgers are good.
All right, bro. 0 for 3 on chicken wing choices on that bomb show. I really appreciate your time, man. It's nice to finally talk to you, and we'll definitely keep in touch going forward.
Same, bro. Just want to say that I appreciate you having me on. It's been great. It's been fun, man. Super hilarious guy, brother. And yeah, I enjoyed the conversation, man. Anytime, bro. Anytime.
Hey man, just keep pushing, keep making your videos, and I mean, I'll have you back, or I'll do something. We'll figure something out to do together, bro.
Let's do it.
All right, take it easy, bro. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
That's episode 29 of podcast. Absolutely hilarious guy, man. Doing great things. If you need your freight moved, hit him up. That's gonna be it for today.